I'm going to share with you something that happened to me in federal court today. Explain to you why I did what I did, and if you stay with me to the end, I'll explain to you your rights. I have filed a class action overtime lawsuit in federal court in New Mexico. The defendant, the employer that I sued, sent a set of discovery requests. Number one was they were asking for me to identify for my client whether or not they're a citizen of the United States and whether or not they're a citizen. I objected to this, and the reason why is that the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act and New Mexico Minimum Wage Act does not require that you are a citizen of the United States or even have paperwork that allows you to legally work in the U.S. in order to be entitled to minimum wage and overtime. The reason why the law is the way they are is that for two reasons. One is it prevents unscrupulous employers from gaining a competitive advantage over their competitors by having a lower labor cost. Why? Reason number two, they could just recruit undocumented workers, non-citizen, and kind of scare them into working for sub-minimum wage and not being paid overtime. If you allow unscrupulous employers to do this, then they're going to be more competitive and drive legitimate businesses out of business because they can't compete with a business that just hires undocumented workers and pay them sub-minimum wage and no overtime. But two is that oftentimes when employers who participate in this type of activities get sued, they think it's a great idea to bring it to their lawyer's attention and use it as a defensive strategy by saying, hey, why don't we scare all these class members from joining the lawsuit or participating in the lawsuit by scaring them by making them think that we're going to make a big deal out of their citizenship and question them about it in court, and they'll drop out of the lawsuit. Well, it's going to hurt them either way because the employers that do this, well, they're going to get in trouble with immigration because they shouldn't be hiring and employing people that are not documented in the first place. So it's a bad idea. Number two, they're not allowed to do that. So lawyers like me, we push back because we know that people would not join these lawsuits if they were scared away by this illegal practice. Okay, so remember your rights. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen or have paperwork to allow you to work in the U.S. in order to be entitled to minimum wage and overtime. Okay, back to work.